So we've got to that time where there's a call for another YouTube analysis video. So this time we're going through a very popular one, which is called Saffron Energy, an Italian gas company in which recently listed their IPO at 5p a share, were also oversubscribed. Their market cap, I believe, at that point was £7.5 million, now £12.68 million. So in this case, it's definitely been popular, it's being bought a lot, and investors see a lot of value and potential in this share. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the simple assets of the company and what to look for if you're an investor in the future. Just to begin and disclose, I do not have any positions, however I am looking to find a position into this company, but maybe I'll be too late for all I know, because the first RNS will be in this month. I believe they said within the next month, which states it on being March, which we're in now. And this first quarter of 2017, they're releasing their first gas RNS on Berserker. Usually first gas RNSs have spikes alone in share prices, but in this case, being a new company and having cash, there's no fear on funding. It looks to kind of be a miniature version of Sound Energy, from the first sight. They have 3 fields. One's already selling gas, and their customer is Shell. And that's not a small company, just for the record. This is Shell PLC. So their second field is Berserker, which they're getting the first gas on. Their first one is Solaro, which they're currently receiving revenue on. Although it's not a huge amount of revenue, it is a small bit, and it's something to keep them not having to do placings and raise funds and diluted death spirals. So if we look on the reserves in Berserker, this seems to be a decent sized field, and I believe there's a chart here to show which field has the most. So as you can see here, Berserker seems to have the most MCF a day. If you take a mean average of each one across, you'll come across on that. They have a strong news flow, supposedly, and this month they're looking to give their first gas. In the second half of 2017, they're giving their first gas on St. Alberto, which is their third field, and their third one that they aim to have in production. And as you can see, this is the flare in Berserker. It's just off the sides of Milan in Italy, and it's very close to the Italian national grid, I presume. So that means they can just transfer it to the grid, and that's where there's low cost of transport there. Also, I believe hearing that they have 99% methane gas content from the initial gas that's taken out, and that, in my opinion, means that there's very low filtration costs and processing costs, because it could be almost done in one stage and then sent off and sold to Shell. So they have a solid team right here. One thing that stands out is Michael Masterman. I believe he's CEO of WRES Resources. There you go, W Resources. He's an Australian lad, got a lot of experience in the sector, and as you do on IPO listing, raised £2.5 million. And that's to be achieving this first gas on Berserker, which I find interesting, because not only are they getting one revenue from one field, they're also now going to look to get 2 revenues on 2 fields, and then they're aiming for 3 fields. But an interesting fact of when the CEO in an interview had said, what are you going to do, look to acquire other fields? They said, no, we're going to work on these 3 fields and increase production and focus with low costs and more shareholder value. And he does aim to give a dividend. And for an AIM stock, a dividend is like, I don't know, a 10 bagger or a 100 bagger. It's the Magic Johnson of the penny cap, small cap exchange. So you can see the Solaro field, it's pretty small. I mean, it's probably 1 million to 2 million a year in revenue, likely on the lower end. And Berserker could be the larger one. Hence why the cost of 2.5 million just to get first gas and get all the equipment done on it and get this pipeline installation. So you'd look forward to that if you're an investor. I mean, my personal opinion is if you're an investor, you've got a lot to look forward to. I know a lot of people invested in this company right now, and big time. And I can't disagree as to why this is a good investment opportunity. I mean, it's definitely not a trade opportunity because there's no huge near-term news or huge upside or huge downside, but there's a significant upside, and I don't really see a downside on IPO with that much cash. I mean, unless something just went wrong, I can't explain what, but that's the only worry you could have in the back of your mind. But the beneficial impacts of this could be, say, an upgrade in resources. I mean, you'd look to those kind of a thing in companies such as Tullow, or not Tullow, but Tullow Energy, where they have an upgrade in their reserves. These guys, if they have a simple upgrade in reserves, you've got huge potential because it's already a decent amount. They've got great margins. What do you look for? Great margins, great production rates, especially in counterintuitive to their market cap valuation. So they've also got some solid brokers, Turner Pope. I like the gas reserves. I like the near-term development. Although these are quite long time scales because, you have to be an investor. Being a trader, I can't relate to that. But you definitely do have some potential in here. And money is coming in. In an AIM company, you never see money coming in and revenues. All you see is placing funds, and I digress this because funds just burn, and there's death spirals in companies like XTR, MYN, you name it. So it is something unique. They've got good management, and they've certainly started off with a bang. So enjoy the ride if you're holding, and certainly consider it if you're not.